Okay. Hello, everyone. Today we have an awesome guest, Lana Yu. She was in our Game Science Entertainment Technology, otherwise known as GSET. It was a section of our Gift and Talent program. Today we talk about gaming addiction, how it can benefit your life. We go into Lana's role as a mother in her friend groups and how it shows us her leadership, mentorship, and empathetic qualities. Stick around and enjoy. What's been happening since Gaddy?
Since Gaddy, a lot of school stuff. Obviously, I've started school since then. It's just been like getting back into the routine of doing homework and like waking up early and all that stuff.
Hmm.
There's just like the added pressure of college apps, but that was to be expected going to senior year. Though I feel like the workload in senior year is a lot lighter than past years, which is nice. I don't
Hmm.
know.
Okay. Schools are you trying to go to? What programs? What are the next steps?
I think UCLA might be or is my dream school because it's where my like dream company is, and it's also like the center of media with Hollywood and all that.
Hmm.
I really want to go into something community based, so maybe like a social media marketer or a brand manager, probably specifically into like the gaming industry because that's something I'm really
That's actually a good thing. Let's talk about the gaming industry. Let's start from the start. What got you initially into gaming?
It was my dad actually. He introduced us to technology relatively early. And it was a really fun way for me to spend time with my family, like Minecraft with my cousins or vlogs with my sister. Later on, it got more into different consoles. So Switch with Overcooked, which I would play with my friends a lot, which was a lot of fun. And then I got into PC and then competitive gaming, which has been what I've been mostly taking.
I want to start talking about, let's say, the impact, the positive impact that gaming has on your life, and in comparison to others, because right now gaming is, I'd say, a very, I want to say a niche thing, but it's something that most parents, even nowadays, discourage or heavily discourage, or some parents won't even let their kids play games. So give a little bit of backstory to this. Is the previously it was that like the video games cause violence, video games you make you more and let's say inclined towards violence. That is outdated information now. People like everyone knows that this is like kind of it's more placebo. It's more like living up to expectations. People who play games, they only exhibit a higher amount of balance if they were shown like the study or they were shown the statistics beforehand. So it's like more of a placebo or living up to expectations. One thing I did want to actually say is that for gaming or gaming addiction is really bad, and that's what a lot of parents don't like. And that's what I kind of wanted to talk to you about. What's happening right now is in terms of gaming, there's dopamine. People are gaming so much and they can only find the satisfaction off of dopamine right now, whereas they can't find it anywhere else in life. So like, I mean, I've had this phase as well where all I did was game and all I did was just nothing else in life because nothing gave me the same rush. So I actually wanted to ask you about that. Have you ever experienced anything like that? Yeah, let's start with that.
I'd say when I was younger, I definitely did have that experience because, like you said, nothing really gives the same rush or holds the same amount of attention. But I think as I got older, the effects of that started going down because obviously you mature and realize gaming isn't like constantly gaming isn't good for you. Like there's other things, and that boredom can actually be good for, like, boredom isn't fun, obviously, but it can be good for like mental growth. I don't know. That's what I heard, but I
Huh.
also agree because when I'm bored, I like think about other things and think more about, oh, what could I be doing better as a person?
What got you out of it? Specifically, some interaction, some event happened to you. What got you out of the gaming addiction?
I think for me, it was mostly just gaining more of like a sense of responsibility over my own life. Like going to high school, in my mind, I was thinking it was such a big step. Like I needed to become more independent as a person because my image of a high schooler was someone who like managed everything on their own pretty much.
Well,
So
you're
yeah,
phrasing it as something that people grow out of, or at least you yourself has grown out of.
I think that was what happened to me. Yeah.
Let's say you go back in time. Let's say you can choose to never have gamed at all, or yes, like chosen to game. Because this is a thing that a lot of my friends talk about. Whereas they regretted ever playing a game and it's ruined their life or something like that, or it's taken years away from their life. Do you ever regret it? Do you ever think it has caused like a massive downfall on you? And advantages has it given you?
I mean, obviously, it does take time that could be put into more productive endeavors or initiatives, but I don't think if I could go back, I would give it up because of the experiences I've had and the people I've been able to meet through games. Because the
Mm.
main reason I do play games is because of the people and friends I've made. So I think I wouldn't choose to give up gaming if I had the choice to, because I think the people I've met and who have supported me have made me who I am and have like made a difference in my life, a positive difference.
For you, you wouldn't have given up games. For you, it's just it has created such a great community around you that helps the rest of your life. So there's something you wouldn't give up. Actually, it's something similar for me. Whereas, although I do regret spending a atrocious amount of time playing games, it's definitely benefited my life in one way or another. From the start, it's definitely benefited me in terms of it. I think it increased my pattern recognition, henceforth my IQ. It's definitely given me a sight on how to manage my life, how to operate other sides of my life. One thing that happens in League of Legends is that you have to min max everything, you have to optimize everything. And I've done that in life, and I've actually done that in a lot of my occupations. Gotta talk slower. I can't edit that. I will talk slower. All right. And then recently, and more recently, I've been doing these things, whereas I'm stacking myself. So I have startups that I'm trying to launch. I have work that I'm doing for this entire podcast, a lot of work. And I've had job offers and interviews and everything like that. And it's a lot of work. You know how I can sustain this, whereas no one else can sustain this? I've had 18-hour to like 30-hour marathons of gaming, whereas I can just put that work ethic, put that grind into actually work right now. And I've done the same thing with the let's say the gym or physicality, working out, all that kind of stuff. The advantages that gaming has brought to my life, it isn't direct sometimes, but sometimes it's like the environment that gaming gives you, it mimics into real life. So that however long I spent creating a work ethic, building up, I can just now use that completely quit gaming and then just have myself work much harder in my real life because of it. So it's
Mhm.
actually such an amazing thing for me.
I definitely agree with that, that it does teach you passive skills even out. Yeah. Like it teaches you to be more persistent and have work towards your goals and obviously the grind.
All right, so the next thing I actually wanted to talk to you about is Catnip Cafe. You did it and you created this is a game that you created in our Gifted Talent program. Talk to me about it. How did it start? What's the idea behind it? Explain the entire thing to me.
Honestly, when we originally thought of the idea, we were mostly thinking of what we wanted in a game. So, us as a group wanted something to do with cats and like aesthetics, something really cute that people could go to relax. And that was basically what it ended up being. We wanted something that was a cozy game for people to kind of take the time and just do like live through a different world kind of thing. And we also wanted to make it very story based because I feel, or this is what I think at least, I feel a lot of games these days don't focus as much on the story aspect of the game rather than, oh, you have to reach this objective. So you don't really get as much world building unless you're playing something like more single player. But yeah, I really liked the story aspects of games because stories in general, I feel really get me invested. So that was my intention for, and I'm assuming also the other group members' intentions for building our game like
Hmm. Okay. Another thing I actually wanted to ask you about is your experience working as a tournament administrator with Evil Geniuses. Tell me about it.
yeah, so I wanted to get experience in the gaming industry or the esports industry because that is obviously what I want to do in the future. So I found it through the IBC, like Jobs and Opportunities Discord, and I just applied on a whim because I wasn't even sure if they'd take a high schooler, but I just applied and I got accepted. And it was like for around 2 weeks, I was just working in an admin team, and we basically just prepared the tournament, like seeding the brackets and gathering participants. And then on the day, I would moderate the Twitch chat and make sure like no issues are going on and answering questions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Okay. One thing I actually wanted to talk to you about is talk to me before about your characteristic that you're very proud of, dependability. As in your friend groups or whatever friend groups that you have, you are usually considered the mom friend. Tell me about it. Tell me about how you got to that position. You like doing that position, being in that position in your friend groups. How can that impact the rest of your life?
I think it's just a natural desire to care because Um, I think because my whole friend group pretty much they're all younger siblings and I'm the only oldest sibling. So
Mm,
I think I just naturally took on the role as caring. So when we go to a restaurant, I'll make sure everyone's got like their portion or their food first and make sure everyone has like utensils, just little things like that. Like I'll have like hand sanitizer if people need it. And I also really like the feeling of when people trust me enough to come ask me for advice. So
mm,
I do like being the mom friend or being seen as the dependable one because it makes me feel like very warm and like loved, being
mm.
someone they trust enough, you know?
Awesome. Yeah, no. I've had actually a similar experience where I'm developing the parental kind of role in some of my friend groups. And it's definitely different. When
Yeah.
I well, growing up, I was definitely like more of a kid friend, the guy who screws around. But now, I mean, after doing, I guess, all these things, I started just orienting my life differently. I started being more responsible and caring about these things. And it's one thing I actually like a lot is it's making the rest of my I guess hangouts with friends everything more enjoyable because there's always that one person who carries everything, who brings everything that you need and make sure like is responsible for everyone. And I actually love it. So your experience as being a mom friend kind of role in your friend group, do you think this has any, let's say, benefit towards your professional and future life?
I think it definitely does in terms of me wanting to manage things because I think as a mom friend or as the dependable one, I have to pay attention to a lot of things and make sure everything's in order and watch out for things for everyone and taking on responsibility of making sure everyone's cared for. So I think that would definitely help in managing large groups or having people under my management.
So what you're telling me is that doing these kinds of mom friend roles and I see it in your life right now you was an admin for an esports competition. It's you slowly like practice the being able to manage people, being able to stay on top of things, and when you grow up, when you have all these practices and that nobody else has. So what's gonna happen is when you take on admin roles, you're gonna excel at it and you're gonna do way better than other people. And the reason why is because I guess as a kid you practiced being the mom friend in the group. A very fun thing is that you can really, not easily, but you can somewhat tell people's careers based off of how they act as a kid, because a lot of stuff that you do as a kid is just practicing the things that you like. And then if you pursue the things that you like, let's say being a mom friend in the group, aka like some kind of administrator role, if you pursue these things that you like, you're gonna end up being good at a job or hopefully being good at a job because you practice all these things throughout your life. I think it's a very, very fun thing. So what's the biggest challenge that you believe you faced in your life and how did you overcome it?
I, I haven't really faced many dire challenges in my life, thankfully. I think the biggest one was around my freshman year, my parents kind of got or did get divorced. I think what was most stressful was they started fighting more, and that
Mm,
kind of fractured my family. I think it affected my sister a lot, and it really broke my heart to see because even though I was like, because I was older, I could start seeing like something's happening, like something's not going right. So I sort of expected it to happen, but my sister couldn't tell at all. And when it happened, she kind of like broke down, like she'd cry about how she wished they were back together. I think that
mm,
kind of put a lot of pressure on me to show myself as like stronger, to like be more stable for her and more independent. And I think that in turn kind of put stress on myself because I couldn't really show what I thought because I had to comfort her and show her like, oh, everything will be okay. So
yeah. That sucks to hear. But huh. It makes a lot of sense that I mean you start from being the mom friend in the group, and now you go to take care of your sister. Definitely makes a lot of sense, and it's something that you were built to do. I'm glad that you were equipped with these skills that so you can handle this kind of situation. Wow,
It's
sucks, dude.
okay.
Thing that I love like that you do is you laugh a lot, and it probably comes from your personal mantra. Laughter is the best medicine. I want you to talk to me about that because that's something I resonate with a lot.
I don't know. As a kid, I would just giggle at a lot of things naturally. Like, I've had people ask me, why do you seem like you laugh at everything? Like, not everything's that funny. But I do think that laughter is the best medicine because no matter if you're sad or like angry, like if you start laughing with someone, the argument will like kind of dissolve for a little bit. Like it can break tension and it can really make someone feel comforted or feel better or connected to someone else. So I think laughter is really important. Like anyone who's close has like had experiences where they've had a period of time where they just couldn't stop laughing because of something dumb.
I think on my end, I resonate with laughter is the best medicine as well. And the reason why is it's a little different. It's a little less lighthearted. But it's because throughout my life, I've dealt with a lot of challenges. I've dealt with a lot of, I guess, turmoil. What happens is my friends keep asking me like, why are you laughing at this very inappropriate subject that like or something like really, really bad happened to you, or you got this horrible injury and you got stitches. Why are you laughing? And I think the thing is, and this is from like a kind of comedian point of view, is that when you able to laugh at yourself in like these certain situations or laugh at these situations, it means these situations don't have power over you anymore. These situations are no longer relevant, and it's just something that you can actually just laugh at and overcome. I think laughter in terms of medicine is a signal that you've overcome some kind of challenge, or that you are overcoming some kind of challenge, and it helps you navigate like a lot of things in your life, especially for me. This morning, I was climbing a mountain. Then me and my friend, we both just like fell into it. It was like a mountain. There's a stream. We both fell into the stream. Then we both got like heavily injured and whatever, and we were able to just laugh and have a fun time. Kind of like a situation where you would normally be scared for your life or very stressed or something like that. We can turn it into a fun time. We can turn it into lightheartedness, and I think that is really really good for your psychology as well. So okay, can you explain some instances in your life, let's say where you face stresses, challenges, or something along those lines, and you kind of overcame it with laughter or just coped with it in terms of laughter or something along those lines?
I remember this one time where I was having a really bad day in a game I really enjoyed playing, and it was a competitive one, so my mistakes were causing people to lose or and myself to lose. And this really upset me, and my friends that I was playing with could tell. They started cracking jokes and trying to make me laugh, telling me like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Like, it's really not your fault," even though it clearly was. But the way they were phrasing it was really funny because they were like, "Oh, I can't believe this other guy did this," rather than blaming me. And it made me giggle a little because it was clear that it was my fault, but they were trying so hard to comfort me. And I thought it was really sweet of them to do. So
You know that's actually a really good example because okay, it makes me think of something during our camp at Gifted Talented. Do you remember that when during the start, Michelle Kine, she is a very, very famous microbiologist, and she came out and she gave a whole lecture, and the biggest part of the lecture was just saying you should look to fail. You should try to fail as much as you want. And something that happens in games and also mimics real life is failure. You're gonna fail here and there, and a lot of people they harp on the failure. And one thing I actually love about laughter, and in your example especially, is that when you fail, you can laugh and no longer be obsessed with how badly you failed and all these things. You can laugh and you can learn and you can overcome these challenges. And next time you better. Next time you won't make the same mistakes. I think that's a great example. Okay, so the what happened to blind date with a book? What was it? Explain it to me.
my intention or my idea for starting Blind Date with a book is because I've always liked debating about book topics or talking about books with my friends because my group all generally like to read. So we'd always, like for romance books, we'd be like, oh, this is the best love interest, or I can't believe this guy did this. So I wanted to kind of indirectly give strangers book recommendations by doing blind date with a book and providing them with like cute packaging because I thought things like that were so cute to like receive a book like that. It was like a gift from someone. I
Hmm.
just thought the idea was really sweet and it seemed to be up and coming because I saw it a lot on TikTok. So
Hmm.
I wanted to try and maybe partaking in that and giving my own book recommendations to other people as well.
So wait, so two people they go on a blind date and you give them a book to like kind of read and talk about.
No, your
No,
blind date
I'm delusional.
blind date is the book.
Blind date is the book. Go into
Yeah.
that. Talk to me about like is it like a date date?
So basically, it's just a book wrapped in like wrapping paper, so you can't see the title or the author or anything. You don't know anything about the book except for what's
Oh,
on the
the
front.
book is the date.
Yeah, the
Oh my God.
date.
Okay.
What?
No, that mind blown. That makes sense. Okay. Wow, that's
Yeah,
actually a
so
really good idea because you could base it off of their interest or whatever, and then people can just come, whoa, they have a surprise. They have a very, very, I don't know, pretty book wrapped in whatever,
mhm.
right? Do you have like a passion about books? Do you read a lot? Do you talk to me about that?
Yeah, I do read a lot. I think it might be the thing I do second most. I don't know, books have always been just really fun for me. Just to live in another world. Like you could literally be in a world where it's possible to ride dragons or do mutant like magic. Like I find books really fun, especially because a lot of authors do really good world building, so it feels like
Hmm.
I'm there or I can visually see and imagine how that world would be. So
What books do you read? Because when you're talking about word building, the first thing that comes to mind is like Lord of the Rings. Have you ever read that?
I have not.
No, no,
Yeah, I never
Narnia?
got around to that.
Yeah,
I've the closet?
yeah, that the closet one. Yeah,
No, I haven't
I
read that one either.
okay,
Um,
okay. Tell me
I read
about your
Hunger
favorite
Games.
book. What has it taught
Mm-hmm.
you?
Oh, my favorite book. Wait, that's really hard. You know how many books I've read?
Has so you read books a lot and you love books a lot. So has this impacted you in real life in any possible way? Has it given you any skills? Anything like that?
I think it's definitely allowed me to put myself in other shoes because I'm used to visualizing their like visualizing the character's life in a book, and I think my by doing that I can visualize other people's lives and how they might be feeling as well, like a story. So I think it definitely
Hmm.
helps me empathize and kind of understand where other people are coming from.
Oh, that's one thing I noticed about like some of the greatest writers is that they the amount of empathy and the amount of thought they have and the genius that they put into the book, they're good enough at it. They can make the reader develop empathy and these kinds of traits just through reading. I've learned and I've recently like done some secretarial positions where I just have to kind of help people with stuff. I've learned that my past experience, just like when I was a kid, I was obsessed with reading, and I just didn't stop reading. I'd like wake up, and the only times I wouldn't read, and this would be summer vacation, by the way. But the only times I would just stop reading was just to eat, and then back to reading, back to reading. I go through Lord of the Rings, I go through Narnia Divergent, everything, like all the main books and some of the weird books. Have you ever read the series of unfortunate events?
I think I read a little bit of it.
Anyways, my main point here is that a genius author will let you develop empathy, and I've throughout a lot of my life, I've actually used this empathy that I developed from reading uh, in many useful ways. Thing about the empathy that I think actually really helped you for a lot of your life, and obviously like everyone can see it, is you being a mom friend. We going back to that topic where you can prepare things and you can think for other people and be able to help other people really well. And I think it's a very valuable trait that you can develop from just reading, just living in other people's shoes and all that kind of stuff. So throughout this entire podcast, you've mentioned that you are like you're dependable. You have taken the leadership role or like the mom kind of position in your friend groups. In our Gifted Talent program, you have taken kind of the leadership role as well. Whereas you built the community and you nurture the community throughout the entire time. And even afterwards, you connected everyone and you created a Discord server, and you still even now take care of the entire community and built like kind of a very fun community for everyone to be in. I think this kind of ongoing pattern throughout your life is that you consistently, I guess naturally, move towards initiative, move towards mentorship, move towards leadership. How do you think that plays onto your professional life, your future, everything like that?
I think it'll definitely help in when I do have to take on a leadership role or when a group I'm in requires someone to take up the leadership role because I think every group requires someone to step up and take the action to delegate roles so people know what they're doing or to set timelines so that people are able to meet the deadline. So I think whether it is labeled directly as like, oh, team leader or as someone who passively kind of takes care of people's responsibilities and helps them stay on track, I think it will definitely help me in the future as I pursue
Mhm.
what I want to.
One of the reasons why you excelled so much at our program is you were more or less of a natural born leader. And it's something that we really, really like loved helping nurture. And hopefully you kind of bring this throughout the rest of your life. When you did mention previously to me that you want to take on kind of a social media director role or something along those lines, hopefully, and I mean probably, you will take a kind of a leadership role, administrative role in terms of that, because I can definitely see you excelling there. I mean, you've built your entire life to kind of be in that kind of
Mhm.
position.
Mhm.
Amazing. Oh, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having me. I had a really great time talking about this as well.
All right. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you for watching.